Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
Baha Mar borrows nearly $15 million. The opposition leader hits out at the PLP chairman over another conflict of interest claim. A group of pastors stands with the government on Baha Mar. Getting a banking license isn't as easy as one web shop boss thinks. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MB12 starts right now. Tonight, Baha Mar has borrowed $14.9 million since July, according to court documents filed in Delaware this afternoon. The money was used, among other things, to pay fees, expenses, and salaries. Vonik Toot has the details.
Though government has committed to paying the salaries of Baha Mar's Bahamian workers for the second straight month, court documents filed in Delaware today have revealed that Baha Mar has borrowed $14.9 million from Granite Ventures Limited since July 22nd. The money was paid out to North Shore Mainland Services, a subsidiary of Baha Mar. According to court documents, the DIP lender has advanced $14.936 million in DIP loans to debtor North Shore Mainland Services Incorporated in order to meet certain of the debtor's approved and budgeted expenses. The money was issued in 3 payments: $436,000 on July 22nd, $5 million on July 27th, and $9.5 million today. After Baha Mar filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. District of Delaware on June 29th, it received an interim order granting it access to $30 million in debtor-in-possession funding. However, the company needed a Bahamian court to approve the order, which was rejected by Supreme Court Justice Ian Winder on July 22nd. In an affidavit filed today, Baha Mar President Tom Dunlap explained that given the absence of the Bahamas approvals and in order to fund DIP advances to the debtors, the DIP lender provided funding waivers to the debtors and agreed to certain limited modifications to the structure of the DIP facility to avoid the requirement of the Bahamas approvals. Dunlap added, notably, the government of the Bahamas has funded certain payroll obligations of the debtors, which displaced funds that would have otherwise come from proceeds of the DIP facility. Last week, Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson confirmed that Bahamian workers at Baha Mar would continue to receive their salaries from the government this month. Government is using the money it owes Baha Mar to cover its portion of the rerouted West Bay Street to pay Bahamian workers. Baha Mar CEO Sarkis Merlian has said government's decision to withhold the payment of salaries for the resort's foreign staff is deplorable. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonik Toot.
PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts is nothing more than a relic of the past, and he needs to stay there. That's according to opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis, who today defended himself against accusations from Roberts that he was embroiled in his own conflict of interest under the former F&M government. Minnis said Roberts is attempting to draw public attention away from the real issue.
Bradley Roberts is attempting to malign my character. Bradley Roberts is nothing more than a relic of the past, and he should remain in the past. I will not go down the past with Bradley Roberts. I'm more focused on the future and a better Bahamas.
In a scathing press statement, Roberts called on Minnis to put up or shut up and set the record straight as to whether or not his hands are clean. Roberts asked, did the Public Hospitals Authority enter into a contractual lease agreement involving the use of StatCare building on the corner of Nassau and Meeting Streets while he served as the Minister of Health between 2007 and 2012? Dr. Minnis must confirm or deny this and state whether he benefited financially from the arrangement. As the minister responsible for the PHA and a businessman with significant financial interests in StatCare, it would appear that he was in conflict between his public duty and his private business interests. Well, when asked, Minnis said that contract was signed by the PLP 2 years before he became a cabinet minister.
A contract was entered with StatCare under the PLP in 2005. I was not a member of government, nor was I in government at the time. The records would reflect that 2005. I entered government in 2007. I signed no contract.
Minnis told NB12 when he entered frontline politics, the matter was brought up and cleared in Parliament on numerous occasions. He accused Roberts of being small-minded.
I will not continue. I am tired of listening to myopic, small-minded politicians who live in the past and who think all of themselves. I will not. But I will say to Bradley Roberts and those who listen that I am not like them. I am not a member of the All For Me Baby Club.
In a statement, Roberts first noted that Minnis had called for the resignation of the Attorney General on the grounds of a conflict of interest. Minnis branded Roberts' statement an attempt to deflect attention away from the AG.
The issue is the AG. The issue is the AG being in conflict. The issue is the AG needing to resign, or the Prime Minister removed the AG. She went over acting as a mediator when she knew that her family had involvement. That is avoid conflict.
Free National Movement Chairman Michael Pintar asserted today that after a series of inflammatory comments by Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell and Labor Minister Shane Gibson about Baha Mar CEO Sarkis Mirlian, Prime Minister Perry Christie must put a muzzle on them once and for all. Simone Davis has that angle.
Pintar hit out at the government today, stating that the Christie administration continues to make ill-advised decisions in the Baha Mar debacle. The most recent misstep, he said, are the nonsensical comments made by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Labor in reference to Baha Mar CEO Sarkis Mirlian. Pintar co-signed Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner's recent assertion that Mitchell should be fired or not allowed to make certain statements. He said the Prime Minister needs to muzzle him, and quickly.
The most recent miscalculations involve statements made by the Minister of Labor and the Minister with responsibility for Foreign Affairs. With respect to the Minister with responsibility for Foreign Affairs, the Prime Minister needs to move quickly to muzzle him or replace him. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, as recent as a day ago, continues to repeat the same inflammatory comments and seeks to hide behind a heritage that all of us are proud of.
During his speech on Emancipation Day, Mitchell reminded Mirlian that his permanent residency could be revoked. The F&M chairman said that comment calls into question Mitchell's pledge to protect the sovereignty of the Bahamas.
So when we talk about sovereignty, the question is, what speaks to sovereignty more? The possible sale or lease of our patrimony, of the very instrument that determines whether somebody is to be in this country or not be in this country. Is that not a very serious matter that speaks to the sovereignty of the Bahamas? Mr. Mitchell ought to address that issue.
Pintar suggested that the leaders of the country are doing too much dancing and partying and not enough problem solving. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
As verbal sparring over Baha Mar escalates, a group of religious leaders is calling for personal attacks between government and Baha Mar officials to cease. Pastor Ed Watson of Trinity Assembly City of Praise suggested cabinet ministers must learn to think before they speak, adding Labor Minister Shane Gibson never should have suggested that future investors undergo psychological evaluations.
No, I don't think it should be said.
Why not?
This is said through the parliament.
Why not?
Because your statement carries weight, and whatever you say, and if it is out of your own heart and your own feeling, you can damage what is further the negotiations.
We should think before we speak. What's going to be the end result and what we say in the years to come. I feel we need to be careful on whatever level.
Gibson and Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell have been heavily criticized in some quarters for strong statements they made against Baha Mar CEO Sarkis Ismailian. Prime Minister Perry Christie has insisted Gibson and Mitchell's statements do not reflect the position of the government. However, Watson says that's not the way the world sees it.
Once a cabinet minister opens his mouth, whatever stage he's on, and he says that goes as weight. He speaks as a representative and as a politician and a member of the government. So I think they need to make sure that what is said, that it is clear before they go ahead and say it.
Ismailian has also used unflattering language, asserting that the Prime Minister is not doing what's best for the Bahamian people and calling government's decision to withhold the salaries of Baha Mar's foreign staff deplorable. Watson called his comments disrespectful. Though he called for the insults to stop, Watson and Bishop Ross Davis of Golden Gates World Outreach Ministries say pastors met with the Prime Minister on the Baha Mar dispute and they stand with the government.
Let it be known that we stand with our government in its position to protect the sovereignty and the rights of our land and its people.
We have been in meetings with the nation's leader. We've heard his heart.
Noting that prayer changes things, religious leaders are calling all Bahamians to come together on Saturday at 5:30 a.m. for a Jericho prayer watch for Baha Mar. The prayer walk begins at Bahamas Development Bank's parking lot on West Bay Street. In other news, photos circulating on social media of a man and a little boy posing with guns and drugs have led to the arrest of a 26-year-old man. According to police reports, officers initiated the investigation after the photos surfaced. The investigation led to the arrest of the suspect shortly after 11 last night. Police say the man is in custody for questioning in connection to firearm possession and dangerous drugs. Police are issuing a stern warning to social media users who break the law that they will be tracked down and dealt with. There's more news after the break, so stay with us.